when I arrived here by myself for the first time, I was so lost. And now I'm a lot more like myself. And it's because this city gave me the space to get to know that person. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Vulnerable Conversations with Mayan. Today, I have a guest, a very good friend of mine, and she's also from the Philippines, just like I am. And please welcome Shan.
Hello, everybody. I'm so used to the other
YouTube. To our fun conversations.
Like fun YouTube.
Yes. Unfortunately, today our conversations are going to be a bit more vulnerable.
Damn.
So, over the past couple of weeks now, we've been talking about how we are leaving Medellín and we're slowly packing our things and not just physically preparing ourselves, but also mentally and emotionally preparing for leaving a place that we've been calling home for the past couple of years now. Would you say what's your story with Medellín?
I arrived for the first time by myself around 2023. I think that was the first time I arrived. That was the year we met, no?
I think so, yeah.
2023, no?
Pretty much 2 years ago, yes.
Yes, 2023. But I've been here before that, but not by myself. And that was a very, very different experience of the city than like exploring the city by myself. When I think back to the person that I was back in 2023, back when you first met me, it's like the discrepancy. That's so crazy. And it's like a lot of the changes. Well, I've been back and forth since 2023. From Medellín to Natal. Well, Pipa in Brazil. So both places are spaces of growth for me. But Medellín is really like, I don't even know what to call it. This is a place for lost souls.
I think, so just to give a bit of background, do you mind sharing your story in this episode?
Yeah.
If we're going to get vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
So, for our listeners, Shan and I have a very interesting history and very much around the topic of vulnerable conversations.
Oh, yes. Actually.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Now you remember.
I'm getting excited.
Yes. Sorry. So, I met Shan in one of my events called Beyond Small Talk. And that, to me, is the lowest tier of my mission in life, is to create spaces where people can actually have more meaningful conversations. How vulnerable it gets is obviously up to the people. So I met her there, and then eventually she joined one of my workshops called Setting Boundaries with Your Family. And that was extremely vulnerable for you because it resonated with you so much because it was something that you knew you had to deal with and something very strong in your soul that was calling you. And then after the workshops, she joined my retreat. And long story short, she basically has been unknowingly going into this journey of being extremely vulnerable with yourself and admitting to yourself, there's something that I need to do. There's some work to be done.
Oh, yeah.
And fast forward to 2 years later, I am a living witness. I have been with her for the last 2 years. I've even lived with her twice now.
Yeah.
And I am a true testament to the change of what you've been through. You are not the same person I met 2 years ago who wore all black.
I still wear all
I mean, okay, to be fair, you don't on a normal day these days. And not the same style that you did. You used to look very gothy.
Yeah.
Rageful. I think you had so much
and
rage.
Also more than what I wore was my general outlook.
Exactly.
Like how I met the world was like with
how
so
you
much
carried yourself.
Yeah, so much distrust. There's a lot of interest there too, and I've been realizing that's like one of my favorite parts of myself. Like that the more I get to know myself, the more I get to know parts of myself that I didn't know were there. And one of my favorite parts of myself is my curiosity. And it's always been there, but also a lot of like,
Holding back.
a lot of holding back, a lot of walls, a lot of distrust, a lot of like suspicion, and very, very avoidant, like heaps of avoidant tendencies.
So in the last 2 years of your journey, we've always talked about how vulnerability is something you have been aiming for. And it's something that, now that you've achieved it, what was the most difficult part of that journey into vulnerability?
Just how much it hurts, how much it physically hurts. I listened to her podcast episodes.
Episode 1, if you haven't listened
Yes.
to it yet, it's on
Please,
Spotify.
it's good. It's so beautiful. Like you said that like one of the things that people don't expect when they first like journey into like inward towards vulnerability is how much it hurts. Not hurts like of course there's a emotional hurt, but no, it actually physically hurts. Like I did not anticipate that. I did not expect how like just the idea of sitting with someone and telling someone how their presence or how their words affect you, that like, hey, I'm feeling this in my body right now because you said this or because you did this, and it's not necessarily your fault, but it's what's alive for me right now and I'm feeling it, and can we hold space for it? Like speaking like that, like how first of all weird it sounded coming out of my mouth when I was first trying it out, and how much it hurt because I'm like, the person can say no anytime, can say like, don't be so dramatic. And I've had like so many experiences in my life where I try to be a little more open and I just like get thoroughly like, how about
I think that's
yeah.
what is unfortunate in this world is that there are people, so many people, that they don't know what to do with vulnerability. When someone opens up, they don't know how to react. And so, and you can attest to this Filipino culture, we brush it off. I was like, oh, just
Don't be
do
OA.
this. Yeah, don't overreact. You're just
Yeah.
this, you're just that. You're not sad, you're not depressed, you're just this. There's a lot of dismissal this second that somebody opens up. And so I understand where you're coming from, where we don't live in a world where people are ready or don't know how to actually hold space for someone who's being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And instead of being just sitting there and listening to people, they just automatically try to problem solve, try to like deflect.
Yeah.
Even though it's not their own situation, they deflect the situation themselves. And so I get that vulnerability can be very difficult, because not just for us, because then now who do you become vulnerable to? Can they hold that space for you?
Yeah, it gets scarier. There was a point where like I was trying to be vulnerable and I was like, sussing out, can I be vulnerable with these people? And like I ended up just like totally breaking down, like with my friends in Brazil. It's just like because I got like something in my brain just started glitching because I got so tired of like sussing. Is it a safe time to open up? Like, can I open up now? Like, are we close enough for me to just sit here and be myself and be authentic and just like say whatever comes to my mind? Are we there yet? Like just that constant strain of wondering, okay, I know I want to be more vulnerable, but are you the right people? Or is this the right time? Like my brain just at some point glitched and I just broke down and I just cried. And my friends like thankfully held me at that moment. And I just said, I'm so sorry, I just don't know how to do this. And they're like, it's okay, just cry. And there's just like the four of us just hugging each other on a balcony. Was one of like thanks to the work that we began, like before I went to Brazil, the work started then. Like I was able to allow myself to just lean. And it wasn't even leaning. I literally broke down. So they had
You
to,
dove
like,
into the discomfort
yeah, I dove
head first.
Yeah, and I was so physically painful, and to just be held by people who care and say that, like, you don't have to explain yourself. It's okay to hurt. Like, and then at that point, because I always had this idea that, like, when I'm hurting or when I'm feeling something, I have to be able to justify why I'm feeling that way.
Or to also just make sure that let me take care of myself first. I know a
Exactly.
lot of people are like, no, I need to do this by myself. And to a certain degree, you can handle yourself, take care of yourself in a vulnerable situation, but it doesn't mean you cannot lean on people.
Exactly.
There is power in community,
Yeah.
in making sure that you have the right people around you
Yeah.
for certain situations.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that, when you were asking yourself, are we close enough for me to be vulnerable? Because I think there's two different ways you can be vulnerable. It's someone you're so close to, or someone who's a complete stranger. And they offer different sort of like experiences of like, you have no idea who I am and what I've been through. And it just feels so much more open. I feel more open because there's nothing you can look back on. But then also someone who's very close to you can also kind of just fully see you. So there's the stranger who's like, I don't really know you and you're being vulnerable to me. I can hold space for you, but this is kind of just like that. And it's beautiful in itself. And then there's people you're really close to that they see right through you and you're so vulnerable and it's even more difficult.
Yeah.
And I think I'm so proud of you for being able to start to open up. And how has that been feeling for you in the last couple of years?
That's the thing, is like, it gets easier, but also at the same time it gets harder. Okay, wow. At the same time, okay, thanks for the but it gets easier in the sense that, like, when you do things often enough or you do enough repetitions, it becomes muscle memory. So now for me, saying things like, hey, I'm feeling this in my body right now. I don't know exactly what's causing it, or if it's like something that, it's because of what we're talking about, but I need to take 5, or I need to take a breather, I need space. I can say that now, or I can communicate what I need. That is like, oh, I think I'm feeling a bit of sadness right now, and communicate what I need. That, like, so I think I need a bit of softness. So for now, like, I just need to take time, like maybe in the afternoon, 2 hours in bed, just like cozied up, or maybe take a nap. I just need softness. Like, my partner and I now talk about that. Like, okay, rough day today.
Yeah.
I need softness. I need extra softness, and like, we have a protocol for that. And also, yeah, being in a relationship, it's been so useful. But also, it gets harder because, healing is not linear. You think I've gotten this far, and then something happens and you regress to, like, coping mechanisms or defensive mechanisms that you thought you've gotten over.
Yeah.
Where I don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then suddenly something happens and you find yourself doing the thing, and that's its own flavor of pain. It feels like, did I actually achieve anything, or what? Like, am I back to square one? But that too. Like, I've also been getting into, like, Buddhism recently. So it's like, the second arrow. So the painful thing happens. The second arrow is your narratives around it. That's like, okay, I coped using a way that, like, I told myself I would never use again, or I told myself I would never do this again, and here I am doing the thing. I must be a horrible person, or I must be incapable of growth,
Or I must not have actually grown.
Exactly. You question that, and that's the second arrow. It's like, you've already been shot once, instead of like, oh fuck, like, getting out of the way, getting out of there. You, like, fucking wait for the second arrow to get shot again.
I think one of the greatest ways to measure healing and growth is, you're going to experience the same thing over and over again.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to be able to escape sadness, anger, all these different things. For example, for me personally, I struggle with anger, and that's something if you had met me 10 years ago, you would not have recognized me. And I'm sure my family can tell you that as well. Growing up, they would tell me that I was so reactive, that I was, verbally violent. But when I get angry these days, I don't do that anymore. And I think the measure of growth is more like, not that I don't get angry anymore, I still get angry. But I think I call it bounce back. When you can bounce back into, when they say healing is a spiral thing. So you kind of like go back and forth, but then you're still moving forward. And so the growth there is, how long does it take for me to center myself back? So obviously you're going to get angry again, sad again, regress, maybe have a little smoke or a little drink. But it doesn't mean that you haven't grown. In fact, it's another test for you to learn self-control. How far will I allow this? How far will I allow myself to go back?
Yeah.
And how fast can I allow myself to remember, okay, we've already learned this.
Yeah.
We know it's wrong. We know we can do better. Let's move forward. And I think that's how you can measure sort of like your healing journey, so to speak.
Yeah, I can relate.
Speaking of what's alive in you right now, I know you have your flight in the next 2 days.
Oh.
And give me 3 emotions right now that's very alive in you.
Ooh. 3 emotions that are very alive. Excitement.
Okay.
I feel like it's very much like has that very much like a next chapter vibe. So a lot of excitement. A little bit of anxiety.
Okay.
Because a lot of things are up in the air. And last is, how do I even explain this? It's a beautiful cocktail of emotions, like 2 emotions, like equally present, which is sadness and gratitude together. What is that?
I feel like it's nostalgia.
I was about to say that. Yeah, nostalgia. It's kind of like nostalgia, like for the city. And everything it has offered has been a safe space. Like the thing is, like if you meet Medellín with like openness, it meets you with like whatever you need it to be, it becomes that, but you have to really get real with yourself. It's like, what are you looking for? Because whatever you're looking for, you're going to find here. So when I first arrived, I didn't know what I wanted. All I know is like something needed to change. Because I just got out of a relationship that wasn't working. And I needed to find myself. So I was in that mode. And then that's when I met you. Yeah. And it's like I let go of all of my clients because I wasn't very happy with my career.
She quit her job in front of me.
Exactly. Literally like, Mayan, I'm about to do it. I'm going to do it. And she's
I'd love for you, if you don't mind, to share how you got to that. But I think that's so powerful.
Oh, yeah.
And how, like, what you went through for 2 weeks every day.
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't just 2 weeks. It was like a month.
Oh, was it?
More than a month. Like, I've been drafting and writing and rewriting. Like, it wasn't even like quitting. Like, hey, I'm taking a pause from working, something like that. And the funniest thing is, like, I've always had a promise to myself that I'm going to take a sabbatical after I reach a certain amount in my, like, savings. And I did. And I exceeded that. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized I had a problem because I didn't know who I was outside of work. So I was drafting that letter, and I would delete it and draft it again, and then delete it and then draft it again. And then at some point, like, I had a really good one, so I would tweak it every day. But will I send it? Absolutely, I did not. I did not. Like, I sat with it until that fateful day when we was like, do you want to co-work? Like, we can co-work in my apartment. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, so how are you? And I'm like, not good. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I'm good. It's like, oh, and thank you for holding space for me for that day. Like, that was really, I could, looking back, that day a lot, really, like, those days when your life, you look back and you realize that was the day that life changed. It wasn't the day. There are many different days, but it's one of those pivotal moments, pivotal days where, like, okay, I had this realization of, like, work is necessary, but I couldn't keep using it as a shield or as a way to escape or emotionally regulate or all of the things that I'm using it for. So I quit it. I quit my jobs. Because at the time I had like 3 clients. Yes. I think I had 3 clients and I quit all of them in front of her. And just again, that's when you offered the retreat to me. And I said, nah, I'm not going to do that. Nah, I'm not the kind of person who does retreats.
And especially not with mushrooms.
Yeah.
I think you were very much against psychedelics or drugs in general.
Yeah, I was like, no, I won't do that. Like, it's like, no, thank you, really. And you told me, like, take your time, like, no pressure. And I was like, okay. And then I went home and I don't know why, like, my brain just wouldn't let it go. And I was like, shut up. Like, I was telling my brain to shut up. We're not that kind of person. We don't do that. Okay, stop. And then I think, when was that? Like, I think that was 3 days later and I told you, okay, fine. Tell me more about it.
I think it's the beauty of once you open yourself up to opportunities of growth, you will have all these different trails of opportunities that will be presented to you. Obviously, not every opportunity is the right one.
Exactly.
It's, also a learning curve for you to discern which of these actually make sense to me. And I think what you were going through, correct me if I'm wrong, is you were actually feeling it in your body.
Yeah.
What felt right and what didn't feel right. Because I don't think you said yes to everything I had to offer or what the world had to offer.
Yeah, true.
It was only whatever worked and whatever felt at that time right.
Yeah. I didn't know back then. Like, I always had this idea that, like, oh, I don't have an intuition or my intuition isn't that
Oh, yes,
good.
you did mention
like
that.
I said that. But actually, I think at the time that was my intuition, like talking to me, like speaking to me loud and clear. That is like that. Because, I had this identity in my head that I'm not the kind of person who does retreats. That's corny. I'm not the kind of person who does, psychedelics. That's corny. And I'm like, plus, like, it was so funny because, like, I hate the idea of not, like, having control.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a control. I used to be. I still am to a certain degree.
But getting better.
But I used to be, like, a control freak to a pathological degree. And the idea, and the thing is, the first thing that you learn when you do psilocybin or any other psychedelic treatment is letting go of control or expectations. And I was so full of fear, like, weird. I had so many weird questions. I was like, oh my God, will I throw up? What's gonna happen? If something happens to me, are you gonna take me to the hospital? Something like that.
So the overarching story I'm getting with Medellín is really a transformational experience.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And in 2 days, you are flying out. And I don't think this was something you had planned to be something you'll be away I don't think you planned to be away from Medellín for a while until quite recently. Is that correct?
Yeah. I actually considered staying here for a year. I've never considered that. I've never considered staying in a place for longer than 6 months. I've always had this idea. Another narrative. We have to be careful about that. The narratives that we tell ourselves about who we are is like, oh, I'm not the kind of person who stays. I'm not the kind of person who commits to a place. I'm the kind of person who's like, I'll go and move whenever I feel like it. I'm a free agent. That's just who I am. I'm a nomad. And I'm a nomad. But recently I've been feeling like I need some sort of grounding. I've been feeling that I need some sort of roots. I need to stop for a while to just like, get my bearings straight and to get over my fear of like, it's a strange thing. Sometimes like hearing myself talk about that fear, I feel weird because like, why the fuck would anyone be afraid of staying in a place for a year? It's not like someone's holding a gun to your head telling you can't leave. No, it's like you don't feel like it anymore, you can leave. It's like a visa won't stop you from leaving. But to me, it's always been a big deal because I formed this identity, self-protective identity, that is like, when things get hard or when things get too painful, I can always leave. And part of that is not having an allegiance to a place. Because if you get too attached to a place or you get too attached even to just stay for a year, then bad things could happen there and then you won't be able to leave. And I need to be agile, I need to be nimble.
What happened to the decision?
I wanted to stay here for a year. But again, we've been talking about this. It's just like something intuitive. Just, I got the feeling that it wasn't about Medellín, and I don't think it is about Medellín. It's just about being okay with the idea of staying. So when I accepted, I had this intuitive hunch that was like, okay. At first, it was like, I need to stay for a year somewhere. I need to stop traveling. And I love Medellín so much. So, of course, it's here.
You considered it.
It's here. Where else? Like, there's no other place like Medellín. This is the only place where I actually felt at home. And the funniest thing is, like, even in the Philippines, I did not feel, I don't think I've ever, it's very rarely that I felt like that tinge of like, I feel at home. And I felt it here. And then I thought about it. And then it landed and it's like, I can actually stay here for a year. I think I'm ready to pause. I think I'm ready to stop traveling for a while. And then I got another strong message. Okay, but it's not here. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? It's like, I do tarot. Right now, it's the tarot and astrology are two of my, like, the tools that I use to get in touch with my intuition, with my own, like, and I say, like, you don't have to believe in it. Like, your way in is your way in. However you feel like you are in touch with something bigger than yourself, with belonging, and that's my way. My way is through tarot. And I had a tarot reading that just told me that, like, it's not right now. It's about the feeling. What the universe wanted was for me to be okay with the feeling of getting settled.
With the idea of like...
With the idea of like, I can stop. There's nothing to run away from anymore. And I think that was the lesson. It's like, stop running. There's nothing to run away from. And when I got okay with it, I was like, nope, it's not here.
Yeah.
And...
Do you know where or not yet? Is that something you're also...
Now I've also, one of the things that I'm realizing is it's futile. Whenever I try to build these elaborate plans for myself, the universe always shows me that, like, you think, you really truly think that you know what's gonna happen, right? It's like, how cute. It's like,
how cute you think what's happening.
How cute. So now I'm more of like, I still want to be nimble, but in the sense of like, I want to be still enough internally to hear what the universe is trying to communicate to me. I have a meditation practice too and a yoga practice, but now I'm more like, okay, I'm still nimble, but more in the sense that, like, I want to hear what that inner voice is saying or what the universe is communicating to me, because the last thing I want to do is to try to fight a movement that is natural. Because that's what I'm realizing. If you're meant to go a certain direction and you have an inkling that you're meant to go there and you try to fight it, things are going to get harder and harder and harder until you end up in that same place. It's only a matter of time. You will go there because you need to go there. It's just the question is how much fight are you going to put up like before you actually go there.
Right.
And for me, it's like, okay, I need, and also I'm listening to my body. Here in Medellín, this last round of being in Medellín was all about community, about building with people, reconnecting, being open, doing projects with people. I read poetry.
Yes.
Publicly for the first time. I played music, played the guitar and sang for a crowd for the first time.
Ever in your life?
Ever in my life. Like before I sang in public, but like I did not play the guitar. So, but this is the first time when I played and I sang. And I did that and I started a beautiful creative project with a friend that also started like being lucrative and I'm doing these things with you, like recording a podcast, like really it's about putting myself out there and realizing that like if my attitude is always of how can I show up to be of service and to really genuinely connect with others, good things are gonna come my way, and to just trust that like people mean well, people are beautiful, there's so many beautiful, amazing people I can collaborate with. I just need to trust and be open to it.
I mean, vulnerability definitely leads to deeper connections.
Yes, 100%.
Even this, I know this is vulnerable for you. I honestly did not think you would say yes to this episode about vulnerability. We've done the fun episodes, but this is
that
something
I love. I like laughing, but
but this is something, you know, very big for you. On the topic of closing chapters, you said you're feeling excited, anxious, and nostalgic.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself coming back to Medellin?
That's a good question.
Or do you feel like that chapter has closed?
I think that's the thing, is like my partner and I were talking about it, that like because my partner loves Medellin too. Like we were talking about it and he said like there's always a sadness when you leave this city. But this is the first time when there's a sadness, but there's also a sense of finality. Where like the city is lovingly telling me that like, hey, you know, you learned so much here, now go and move. Because this place will always be here as a safe landing spot. You know, when things get rough, I can go back here and heal and learn about myself again and
sort of recenter.
Yeah, recenter. This and like, you know, Pipa in Brazil are these places for me. I can always go back and recenter and feel safe. But for now, I think I'm ready to take everything I learned here to somewhere else.
But that's the beauty of learning and things that you have to put in practice, because it's like in school, right? If you're going to stay in school all your life, how are you supposed to apply the things that you've learned?
Yeah.
And for me, the ultimate sort of way to know that you've really grown is if you are faced with the same issues as you did before, but now the way that you respond to it is very different.
Yeah.
And I think this, you know, ties back to what I said earlier about how the bounce back. How fast can you bounce back, but also how do you now respond to rejection? How do you now respond to discomfort? Or how do you not respond to someone confronting you with an emotion that's really, really, really strong? That to me is growth. And so what you've learned here, it's true. Like what you've learned here, one of the best ways to truly know if you've really grown is to take that elsewhere. Because Medellin, at least for me, for example, is a very much a comfort zone.
Yes, sometimes too comfortable.
Too comfortable that I'm with you on the closing chapters. I myself am leaving Medellin at the end of September.
Ooh.
Is it final? I don't think so. I think Medellin will always be home. in that sense, but I definitely need a really long break from the city. And I feel like there's this fog that I'm experiencing. You know, when you stay in a bubble so long, and whatever is growing inside, it just stays in that bubble. And I feel like I can't see anything.
It's stale air inside
Yes.
it.
And I feel like I haven't breathed in the past 5 years. And I've been here almost 5 years. So this chapter is also, it's more like this chapter is closing, but it's not the end of the book.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I want to see Medellín in a different light, in a different way. And I know that when I go back to Asia, it's going to help me see things clearly. Because the same thing happened when I was gone 3 years ago. It took me 2 days. 2 days after I landed in Cebu, I said, I need to go back. Not necessarily right now, but then I knew what I wanted to do. And then Medellín community was born. And that is huge. That wasn't something I planned or envisioned whatsoever, but I knew there was something that was calling me back like at that moment. And I feel like right now, I don't know what's coming. And I feel like I'm not allowing myself to see it because I'm just here. There's too much routine.
Oh, yeah.
Too much familiarity that I just can't see the future anymore. So
That's big.
It's a big emotion of, I don't know how I feel. I definitely am with you on the excitement. I'm going to Asia. I know you're going to Peru. I'm going to Asia. And I haven't been there in at least 3 years. And the culture there is just very different. I feel like it's something I really miss, something I need right now. The nerves is more, I don't even think I have nerves. Like now that I think about it, like I'm nervous, I'm anxious about like obviously traveling with a baby, 2 suitcases, a stroller, and 2 carry-on. Like that's a lot. I think it's more logistical things and also just making sure that my baby's okay. But in general, I'm a lot more excited.
Is that like how you would say, I don't know if you see it the same way, correct me if I'm wrong. That's how you know when you're making a decision from center.
Yes.
There are concerns, of course, there's a little bit of anxiety, but you know inside you that like there's no big fear. Like, am I doing the right thing?
Yes.
No, just something in you knows that like this is how it needs to be.
They all coexist. So obviously I felt anxiety before I booked my flight. Obviously I felt fear. Obviously I felt this like, what do I do? Like the past 5 years, this is all I know. Will it work there? Can I do what I always do? Can I start something again somewhere else? And obviously it's there, but at the same time, what is bigger, the excitement or the anxiety? The excitement was a lot stronger. And also this need of a change. And again, because I've been here so long, I feel like in terms of like closing chapters, I feel like it's necessary to, a chapter cannot go for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
A book has multiple chapters. It's because you can't keep that too long. Otherwise, the book gets boring.
Yeah, true.
And I think my chapter right now is getting
needs
boring.
To get cut.
I know.
Then we have a break.
We need to have another chapter. And I feel like that's what's necessary that people should do for themselves is end a chapter. Don't overextend it. Just like relationships, friendships, whatever, work.
Yeah.
If it needs to end, it needs to end. Doesn't mean it's the finality of things. You can always come back to it in a different way.
I'm realizing that, like, I know that this chapter was so necessary. Like, exploring what I can do in community, with community. And to open myself up, like, being a, like, really notorious avoidant. I've always been so afraid of, like, being let down. I didn't want to open myself up to the possibility of people disappointing me or people letting me down, because I had that like idea in my head that like if someone disappoints you, it's your fault because you trusted them. And like, so don't trust anybody. And I'm trying to heal that, and I think I've gone a long way like in healing that, so much so that I've had so many collaborations here and all very fruitful, all very fun.
That's so true, because I've noticed in this chapter of your Medellín life, you are a lot more engaged.
Oh yeah.
the first time I met you, it was a lot of partying, engaged in a different way.
Yeah,
You were engaged in a lot of vices.
And second time, I was at home. We were living
that's
together.
true. When we lived together,
I was very much in hermit mode.
It's a lot of inner work, quite literally.
Yeah.
Inside the house.
I was here in the house, like I would not leave. And she was like, "Have you been there the whole day?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. May I ask? May I have the permission to ask you a vulnerable question?
Go for it.
When was the last time you cried?
This afternoon.
I love how you're so good at answering this down very quick, because the first time I asked you this 2 years ago, you could not even remember.
Oh my God. I think I told you, I was like, I could not remember because it's been years since I cried.
And today you cry this afternoon. How is that life now when you're more able to, or easily able to, like, feel your emotions?
It's beautiful. The thing about emotions that I'm realizing is like it passes. That's the thing about it. Is like it goes on. That's what it's designed to do. Mm-hmm. Whatever arises has the nature to arise, has the nature to pass. Mm-hmm. The problem starts when you try to hold on to the emotion, like for one reason or another, and that's when it gets like unnecessarily hard. But when you sit there and you approach your emotion with curiosity, when a difficult feeling arises, can we meet it with curiosity? Mm-hmm. Instead of like, you're not supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. Get the fuck out. Like, how do I end this? How do I not feel this? I don't like this. So
you have to treat emotions as indicators.
Yeah.
It's a symptom of something. It's not necessarily the problem.
Yeah.
You are sad because of a reason.
Yeah.
And you have to find out what that is. Yeah. It's an indicator.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as, when we talk about our intuition.
Yeah.
When you're met with a choice, this or that, mm-hmm. something always feels better than the other. Yeah. That's an emotion.
Yeah.
Those are your indicators.
Yeah.
And so you have to really discern what is making me feel more mm-hmm. relaxed with that choice mm-hmm. and peace. Like when you make a decision, you feel peace. Yes, anxiety will be there, fear will be there, mm-hmm. but this is where courage comes in. Yeah. Where you make a choice of this is scary, mm-hmm. but not entirely.
Yeah.
And it's still more exciting. And so feeling your emotions and having these emotions, let them be indicators. So I don't mm-hmm. always believe in only I don't believe in only basing decisions on logic. Mm-hmm. It is also emotions. It's a balance of both, right?
Exactly.
So the logic comes into, let's say, where you're going to next. Mm-hmm. It's Peru or that or this and that.
Yeah.
You have to think about, for us, we have to think about like visa, amount of, how do you call this? The flights, where you're going to stay. Yeah. Is it going to be something that actually serves you if you live there?
Exactly.
Because you're not going to live far, far, far away in the, top of the mountain mm-hmm. alone. For example, brain's not working. Oh, sometimes it's hard, you guys, when you're put on the spot. I'm not all witty all the time. Sometimes I am. But emotions are indicators. Mm-hmm. And so you're right. If you keep attaching to it, mm-hmm. how are you supposed to make a decision?
Exactly.
When you haven't allowed it to land in your body and go through.
Yeah, I think like what I'm looking for right now is spaciousness. Mm-hmm. Is like, because that's where you can make informed decisions about like using logic and emotion mm-hmm. at the same time mm-hmm. is from that place of center and like spaciousness. Mm-hmm. That's when you can consider both sides and both options and everything. And you decide from there. And I'm going to Peru because I need to go inward. Mm-hmm. After like community work, mm-hmm. participating, I'm also the kind of person who works in seasons. Yeah. And my season now is to go inward. Yeah. I have external and internal seasons. Mm-hmm. And if I don't honor that, then I can't make good decisions.
As you're saying that, I'm really thinking about how this is even more alive in me now because I've given so much to this community. And it's been so much of outwardness. And I always tell myself, I always try to think about how I got pregnant at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I have a baby at the right time, because I feel like it's reminding me like, hey, there are other things in life that you wanted,
Mm-hmm.
which is having a family and having kids. And it's forcing me
Mm-hmm.
to slow down. I was out of the house by 7 a.m. and
Mm-hmm.
back at 11 p.m. And
Mm-hmm.
I love what I do. I love giving to the community. I love doing things for the
Mm-hmm.
community. But at the same time, I need to nurture myself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that chapter is all about, very similar to yours, not necessarily just inward, but more like, let's take time to recharge.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to say I'm not going to do anything community related
Mm-hmm.
elsewhere. I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm planning to expand.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this city has gotten so much from me already.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's time to give it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And in between, have a break, have a break.
True.
And see my family.
Yeah.
So
Just like, for me, that's very, very important. Like, that's a big realization, because I used to always be like, go, go, go. Like, I never even bothered to stop. It's like, how do I actually function? What do I actually need? And what do I actually want? And I realized that, like, I do have moments when, like, when I was in Pipa, it was very much, the last time I was in Pipa, it was very much an internal period where I did not talk to anybody, literally, for a month. Like, I had friends, but they lived an hour away. And I really, like, just wanted to take the time to be in a town where I don't meet up with anybody. I have a routine, and I'm writing, and I just focused on my writing, and I went to the sea and communed with the ocean every day, and it was so healing. But towards the tail end of that, I was being told, nope, it's time to rejoin the world. It's time to rejoin community. It's time, which is strange. Because at the time, I was in the beach, like, really communing in the ocean, and my partner was in Argentina, like, communing with the mountains. Like, we were like, we had our own, like, phases of, like, we needed complete solitude. And that's very important.
it's super important. This
Yeah.
world was built by the patriarchy, where it's all about go, 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 work, 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 do, do, do. Where when you rest, it's seen as being lazy,
Oh,
or
yeah.
it's seen
Oh,
as
yeah.
being, without ambition.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like everything is a season.
Exactly.
Now is our season to slow down and go inward. And maybe you're not in the same page right now, but recognize when there is a time when there is this pull towards stopping something and just going inward. Listen to it.
Yeah.
It's your body of literally asking you to rest.
Yeah, true.
And so
true. That's the thing, like, different seasons or different needs for different people. But the thing is, like, you have to sit down and really, like, feel it. You have to have that space to ask yourself, allow yourself to express, and your body, first and foremost, to express what it needs. And then build the life around that, or make decisions based off of that. That's really helped me a lot.
right now, if you were to say a few words to Medellín, what would you say to this beautiful city who has helped you in the last 2 years? Take your time, take a few seconds to imagine Medellín is right in your face. What would you say before you leave?
Thank you. Thank you so much for teaching me how home feels like. That's it. Oh my God, I'm gonna tear up.
I'm tearing up.
I've never felt at home anywhere until this place received me with such open arms. And I was like, when I arrived here by myself for the first time, I was so lost. And now I'm a lot more like myself. And it's because this city gave me the space to get to know that person. So thank you so much. Thank you. That's it. Wow, I said I wasn't gonna cry. What the hell? Oh,
Thank you for being vulnerable with me.
thank you for teaching me how to be.
It's an honor. Thank you for watching this episode. If you want to be on this episode, let's talk about something vulnerable. Let me know. I'm in Medellín until the end of September. I'll be traveling around. So if I'm going to be in Thailand for a couple months. So if you're there, we can schedule up. Thank you for watching, you guys.
Thank you.
See you on the next one.
Oh my God, I cried.
Oh, can I hug you?
Thank you. Oh, what a question. I did not expect that.